Hello friends, let us now learn some important points about acute pericarditis. Excuse me. Let us now learn some important points about acute pericarditis. Here, pericarditis, that is inflammation of pericardium. So first, what are the etiological features of acute pericarditis? First, it is idiopathic, is the most common cause of acute pericarditis. It is presumed to be viral. If you see infectious causes can be seen, which is mostly virus. In the viruses also Coxsackie A or B is most common. Then others like echovirus can also be seen. Then infections like bacterial infections are also seen, like streptococcus pneumonia. Okay, it is also seen in staphylococcal aureus, and it is also seen in tuberculosis, and other infections like fungal infections are also seen, like histoplasmosis. In fungal infections there is histoplasmosis and there is blastomycosis are seen. So these are the etiological features of acute pericarditis. Others like these are also seen in post MI. Post MI you can see it in acute conditions like direct extension. It can occur due to direct extension of myocardial inflammation. That is, it can occur in 1 to 7 days, which is acute pericarditis post MI, or it can occur in Dressler's syndrome also. In Dressler's syndrome, it is autoimmune condition and it occurs in 2 to 8 weeks time, and it also occurs in post cardiac surgery also. In post cardiac surgery following CABG, you will see this post MI. This acute pericarditis can occur. Then if you see other conditions which causes acute pericarditis are, it is also seen in metabolic conditions like uremia. It is actually common in uremia, and other conditions like hypothyroidism also shows pericardial effusion. Then acute pericarditis, it is also seen in neoplasms. Neoplasms like mainly Hodgkin's disease, breast carcinoma, then renal carcinoma, then lung carcinoma and melanoma are associated with acute pericarditis. Then even collagen vascular diseases like SLE, polyarteritis nodosa, rheumatic arthritis and scleroderma are also associated with acute pericarditis. And then vascular conditions, if you see vascular conditions like dissecting aneurysm, if you see others like drugs which includes hydralazine, okay, and radiation, and also infiltrative disease like mainly sarcoidosis, all these are associated with acute pericarditis. So what are you going to see in acute pericarditis? Signs and symptoms. Signs and symptoms include, first you will see diagnostic triad. So in the diagnostic triad you will see presence of chest pain, okay, friction rub is seen, and also you will see presence of ECG changes. So all these are diagnostic triad. Then this pleuritic chest pain, this is alleviated or decreased by sitting up or by leaning forward. This is decreased. The chest pain is alleviated or decreased by sitting up or leaning forward. And this pericardial friction rub, this is pericardial friction rub, not pleural friction rub. It is pericardial friction rub, which can be either uni or bi or triphasic. Okay, you will also see presence of fever, plus or minus. You will see malaise also. Okay, so these are the important signs. So if you see the investigations, in the investigations first you will have to do ECG, and if you see ECG you will see presence of diffuse elevated ST segment depression, ST segment elevation. Diffuse elevated ST segment is seen in all the leads. except AVR, plus or minus depressed. In AVR you see plus or minus depressed P, with or without depressed PR segment is seen, but mainly you will see elevated ST segment in all the leads are seen. Okay, so this elevated ST segment which we are seeing here, this elevated ST segment is actually here concave upwards. It is concave upwards and it is seen after 2 to 5 days. Okay, here ST segment iso, you will see presence of ST segment isoelectric. After 2 to 5 days you will see that ST segment is isoelectric with T wave flattening is seen or inversion is seen. Okay, so how does this ECG look? So if you see the diagram of this ECG, so if this is the P wave QRS complex, and here this is like this concave upwards. Okay, I'll draw one more here better. See, this not this one, this one. So here if you see here this one which is concave upwards. Okay, now then what about the chest X-ray? You will see, when you do a chest X-ray you will see presence of normal sized heart. You will see presence of normal sized heart with pulmonary infiltrates. You will see normal sized heart with pulmonary infiltrates are seen on chest X-ray. Then if you do echocardiography, in echocardiography you can assess the pericardial effusion. Okay, now if you were asked a question, what are the conditions, list of the conditions with ST segment elevation in ECG. List of the conditions with ST segment elevation in ECG are definitely MI. Then we have Takotsubo cardiomyopathy. Okay, we also have pericarditis. Then we have benign early resuscitation, repolarization. There is benign early repolarization is in, and you will see presence of Prinzmetal angina is seen, and you will also see ventricular aneurysms. Okay, these are the ST conditions where you see ST segment elevation. What is the treatment? Treatment is you will have to treat the underlying cause. It should be treated. And how do you treat the underlying cause? You will give anti-inflammatory drugs are given, especially you will give NSAIDs. Okay, so if you see the complications, so now what are the complications of acute pericarditis? The complications of acute pericarditis, if you see, these include, first we have, there can be recurrence. Okay, there can be atrial arrhythmias, there can be pericardial effusion, there can be cardiac tamponade, and there can be restrictive pericarditis. So these are the main complications of acute pericarditis. This restrictive pericarditis is actually uncommon. Okay, so these are the complications of acute pericarditis. Thank you for watching.